Thank you, Michaela. A Duval County church will be holding 2 remembrance services this morning to reflect on how COVID-19 changed their congregation and the entire world. 1 year after the virus broke out, they are holding that. On your sides, Don White is live in Lakewood this morning with the message behind the service and one member's story of amazing survival. Good morning, Don.
Good morning, Jeff. Several dozen masked and socially distanced members of the congregation will sit in pews here at Hendricks Avenue Baptist Church, and they will also reflect on how the coronavirus pandemic has affected the world over the past year. 22 members of the congregation got COVID-19 last March, and one of those people, the music director, almost died. Members of the congregation will remember how the virus has affected their church and also the entire world. A bell will toll for each 10,000 lives lost. Tommy Shepard is the music director here, and he got so sick he had to go into the ICU. He even made a video saying goodbye to his family, but miraculously he recovered 6 months later. He started not feeling well during a church service.
I was just kind of clearing my throat and a little cough, but that was that first weekend. It got worse, double pneumonia. Tried to get in the ER on March 20th, but I couldn't because I didn't have a fever. So they sent me home with some cough syrup.
And the remembrance services will be held at 9 and 11 o'clock this morning. I will be there and I will show you what happened tonight. Live in Lakewood, Don White, First Coast News, on your side.